Okay, we are finally attempting the legendary Daifuku mochi. Now, even though this is something I've loved for all my life, I've always been way too intimidated to try mochi making. You know, it's like this legend, it's got such a long tradition, it just seems like so much work. But I think for us, it was mostly this sort of switch in perspective. Like, you know, the first time is probably gonna suck, maybe subsequent times will also not be that great, but it's really a journey, right? You just gotta start somewhere, and then you will, you know, eventually gain the necessary experience, and everything that follows should be better than what came before. So this first attempt we did with mochi, which we didn't record because I kind of knew it was just gonna be that throwaway, like, you know, just for the XP, you just gotta get that fail out of the way and learn all the things that you need to know that, you know, people don't put in the recipes because they forget that you don't know and that sort of thing. So the first time we made it, it was edible, but the skin was just a little too dry, it was tearing, it wasn't as soft and chewy as we wanted it to be. So we learned that don't overstarch, despite the temptation to, because the mochi is so sticky. And then also this time we'll have our own homemade red bean paste, which hopefully will also add to the legitimacy here and also up our game in flavor for the mochi. So here's attempt number 2 of our journey to the mochi making. Let's go. To make Daifuku mochi, you'll need sweet or glutinous rice flour, sugar, water, and your filling like anko or red bean paste. Start by mixing your sugar and flour together, then slowly add water until you get almost a thick pancake batter consistency. Once that's mixed together, go ahead and set up your steaming station. You can do this in a pot, in a steamer, or you can even do this in the microwave. Pour out your mochi batter into your steamer bowl and go ahead and steam that for about a total of 15 minutes. We're gonna check on it halfway through the steam and try to give this a mix. Once the mochi dough has changed colors and gotten a little bit shiny and opaque, it's ready to go. Transfer mochi dough onto a well-starched surface. We're gonna also start on a parchment paper for easy transfer later. Then roll out your mochi dough until it's about 1/8 inch thick. Transfer it to a baking sheet and let it set in the refrigerator for 15 minutes. Then we're ready to cut our mochi. You can use a knife or a cookie cutter. Remember that a slightly bigger mochi will be easier to fill and handle than a smaller one. So go ahead and cut all your pieces first and then begin to fill them. Start out with less. I have a tendency to try to overstuff my mochi, but that will make it difficult to close. To seal your mochi, simply press and pinch the opposite ends together until you've gotten all corners of the mochi dough sticking together. Then you can turn it over and reshape the ball. And that's it. Go ahead and combine the remaining dough and then re-roll it out and repeat your steps. Keep in mind though that you're going to continue adding starch, so subsequent times will be harder to handle and will not be as stretchy. So there will be a tendency for the mochi dough to tear. And that's it for our first attempt at mochi making. Stick around for next time, part 2 of our mochi making journey, where we compare this recipe to a completely different recipe and method. See you on the next one, guys. Bye!